Hello, everyone. Welcome to People Watch, the official podcast of the People Management Association of the Philippines. Here, there are no motherhood statements, no hiding behind obsolete theories and adages, and no time to beat around the bush. Just real talk with real people. I am JV Wong from People Ignite. I am a happy and proud contributor of People Management Association of the Philippines. It is my joy and honor to introduce to you our guest resource speaker for this interview. She is PMAP's woman warrior who wins in the workplace for the month of March. Dr. Maria Corazon De Ungria is the head of the DNA Analysis Laboratory of the Natural Science Research Institute at the University of the Philippines since the year 1999. In the year 2022, she held and is still holding the position as chair of the UP Diliman Research Ethics Committee. My dear friends and members of PMAP, let's please welcome Doc Cora De Ungria. Hi, Doc. I'm so happy, feeling honored that I will be the one to ask questions to you on behalf of our members of People Management Association of the Philippines. Kamusta ka, Doc?
Very, very good. Thank you very much. I'm also very honored to be asked to be part of this interview.
All right. So, Doc, while we were preparing for this interview a while ago, tinanong kita, what's a day in the life of Doc Cora? Go ahead.
There's no day in the life of Cora that is normal. So it's everything. Usually, every day is a different day from yesterday, and you maximize what you get from that day.
Wow, that's already a life principle or a piece of advice for our audience right here. So, I would like to know, and this is again on behalf of our audience and members watching and viewing this interview, you have so many stellar achievements in your life. You know, when you were young, as you were studying, and now where you are. So, in all of these milestones that you achieved, which among the milestones is really pivotal to your success?
Um, I think I could name three and then a fourth perhaps at the background.
Right.
First of all is being able to pass and enter the Philippine Science High School. So that's really determined the path in science. Second is being able to go to Australia to do my undergrad, my Bachelor of Science honors, and then qualifying to do a straight PhD program also in Australia, with the help of a lot of people there and funding from various organizations. And then lastly is being able to come back to the Philippines and work at the DNA Analysis Laboratory of the Natural Sciences Research Institute in UP Diliman, where doing forensic science not only helps me as a person to help other people to use science, the skill that I know, in order to make a difference in the lives of others, but also in helping other people do the same. And then all in the background, in all this milestone, is really the contribution of my family as very supportive, particularly my parents, for me to pursue the dreams that I had from the very beginning, and then supporting me all throughout my life in terms of the choices I made.
Wow, all right. So I have to catch up on your life milestones. Let's come back to your experience when you were studying in Australia.
Sure.
Australia. And I know that this really contributed a lot to who you are today, and you decided to come back and serve the country. So what is your key reason for doing that?
Because in Philippine Science High School, we actually were at the age of 12, we were already scholars ng bayan.
Yes.
So we were actually given stipends to study, and then we also signed contracts to work back, to pay back those 4 years at that time of high school, in terms of service to the nation. So when I finished my PhD in in Australia, I thought it's time to give back.
Give back.
Because I wouldn't have been able to go to Australia to pursue a career in science if I didn't have the initial training in Philippine Science High School. So my first impulse is to just give back to 4 years. I'm going to go back, give back to 4 years, and then after that we're called quits. But then realizing the impact of what forensic science, DNA forensics, as some people would call it, has on the lives of people, families who need to know who the parents are, victims who have been sexually assaulted, criminals who have been wrongfully accused or convicted, then you realize, hey, there is something here that makes this life, this humble life,
Humble life, worthwhile. Alright, so Doc, DNA forensic science. So, liberal arts po ako.
okay.
And so this is all breath of fresh air for me. And I could see from where I am now is this is not just an interest, but this is your passion and this is your dedication, right? And so among the many achievements that you received internationally and locally, ano yung paborito mo na talagang nagkaroon ng impact sa bansa?
Tough to pick, but I think the main award that I would appreciate is Dangal ng Bayan Award from the Civil Service Commission.
Right.
Because it not only says that we are trying government employees. Sometimes government employees get, pushed back by a lot of different things, but to say that we are trying our best to live, to fulfill our work well, to comply with the laws of the land, and to serve the country as best as we can within the limitations of our humanity, then I think that's worth it. Really, dangal. Before money, before anything else, one has to have the honor before as a foundation of your life.
Dangal ng
Bayan.
bayan. I'm goosebumping right now listening to that, trying to translate that in English. It's dignity of the land. Tama ba? Somewhat like that.
Something like that,
Alright.
yes.
And from your point of view, since you got that award, who then is Dr. Maria Corazon De Ungria after receiving that award?
Actually, it doesn't change. It doesn't change. It's the same person before and after. But I think one thing that would define our work at the DNA Analysis Lab, and also our principle, my principle in life, in the way we work, is that when we do things, it has to be of service. It has to have that service component. Whether you are a scientist, whether you are an engineer or a street sweeper, it doesn't really matter. One needs to be able to find the meaning of one's work as a way to serve others. And in fact, this is my 25th year in UP.
Yay!
So, yes, silver.
Happy silver anniversary.
Thank you. But this year, when I was thinking about this, the 25th year, I thought of something that is my motto for this year and probably for the succeeding years. I need to find activities such as this one, wherein whatever you do, one has to train the mind. We need to fight that disinformation. Train the mind, inspire the spirit. We need to inspire. Amidst all the challenges that we have, we need to be able to inspire others and then to touch the heart in order to spread that warm humanity that many people are missing because of the challenges that we have in the Philippines and elsewhere. So those three things: teach the mind, inspire the spirit, and touch the heart. So in any activity, that's what I look for.
All right. I'm already so inspired and so ignited, out of words at this point. All right. Now, one of the questions that I've been thinking about is some challenges or roadblocks that you encountered in your life. Probably the most difficult ones, and how are you able to overcome them?
When I first came, one of the big obstacles when I first returned to the Philippines in forensic science is that there were less women in forensic science. Many of the people that we were dealing with, forensic science deals with lawyers, with police officers, with judges, etc. And many of those were male and adult. So it was difficult for a fresh PhD graduate who is female, came from another country in order to be heard by the other. And it was a struggle. And the way I overcame is that one needs to just keep on speaking. One needs to find different ways of communicating. And also, when I encounter a person, a difficult, maybe challenged person, one needs to look at that person as a book. How do I read that person? How do I read that book in order for me to add my page, in order for me to communicate my message? So that's the first struggle. And that was a lot better. We have more women forensic scientists. We have more women lawyers. We have more women judges. We have more women in government. So that is happening now. But 25 years ago, it was not. The second challenge that we had, that I encountered, is also having people understand that we are not competing with each other. We have limited resources in the Philippines. And what we need to do is we need to really help people to cooperate, to collaborate. We have to stop that, pulling people down.
Crab mentality.
The crab mentality, because that doesn't work. I don't compete with you, and this is what I tell my team. I don't compete with you. We don't compete with each other. We need to work together, and we are happy when people are achieving their best in whatever career they have. In the same way that people are happy when we do. So, and the only person that you compete with is yourself. Am I a better person today than I was yesterday? And it clears a lot of problems at work and in many places. If we realize that we are for each other, we are here to help each other. So, having that in government, actually, in our team, is a major step towards improving the work that we do.
You did mention about your team, and prior to this actual interview, you passionately talked about your team. You've been the head of the DNA laboratory analysis laboratory since 1999. Your leadership style, ma'am, and what kind of style do you try to employ with your team?
I see, this is how I see work and life. Everything is a journey. Our daily life is a journey. So the role of a leader it's not about me as a leader. It's about helping each member of my team to find their path, their journey. So if it's with you in this particular team working together, that's fine. If, for example, the person realizes that her path or his path is in another group, then that's we wish the person well. But then also in finding that journey, we need to be able to be the best that we could be while looking for our journey. And that's what leadership is about. It's not about implementing or imposing your own personal. Has to help each person to find the best that one can be, realizing what positive attributes a person has and working to improve the ones that we are bigger at. And we all have it. So that's the way we lead.
I've not met your team and I hope to see them in UP Diliman. But kindly describe the kind of team that you have. What are you proud about your team?
My team, since I've been working for the past 25 years, there's an age range. The first group, the senior scientists, where they are, I call them the walls, the haligi. Because we were building the DNA analysis lab, and it wasn't built by myself. It was built by this team, being the support to make it grow. And they know it. They've got skills. Somebody's great with finance. Somebody's great with this type of work. The other one is externally very communicative. So we know the skills, and we actually rely on the skills of each one. People know what task they will get because we react. Then the second range of group are the middle ones, because those that come several years after. And then the younger ones are the ones learning now. So
where we belong, the younger ones.
Where we belong. Sige, pwede. In that team, ang focus namin dyan is really, what are we good at? The older ones are very responsible, accountable, and they know where we started. So they have the institutional memory. Okay. The younger ones are very techno.
Oh.
They're very impatient, but you don't stop them in their impatience. They're impatient. Okay, give me the best protocol that's the fastest to do and most efficient. And give them that challenge and they deliver.
They will deliver.
So it's actually looking at the skills of each one, what each one can contribute to the chest, and then what everyone can actually take from the chess as well in order to work together to achieve the same goal. And in fact, this is the visual. This is what we talk about when we have a meeting. The head of the team is the person in the middle of a battle. Each day is a battle. And then you've got the ones in charge of artillery. There's the group that is in charge of cannons. There's a group in charge of the bows and arrows, etc. So the lead is not the one fighting all the wars.
Yes.
But you have to be accountable for your own front. If you're in artillery and the giants are going to that side, you need to be able to use the artillery to fight. If it's the bows and arrows, and the bows and arrows, and then we help each other. And that's how teams are strong, because you are accountable for your front, but you are ready to run in the other front when the need arises. And the leader is there to oversee the whole thing, to be able to guide everyone, not to do everything, but to serve as guide and lead everyone to the right path.
And the anchor of this, as you did mention to me in our offline conversation, is trust.
Yes,
Right?
yes.
How is this super important for you as a leader? Considering all of the things you need to do, activities you're being invited to implement, a team that's so robust. What is trust for you?
Trust, I start always in any work to trust the person 150%.
150.
150%. Then they know it. They know it. I trust you. I give you this work. You be accountable for it. I trust you. If you make mistakes and those mistakes are non-intentional, you tried your best, it doesn't matter. We will work together to be able to correct the mistake. The only thing that breaks that trust is lying, deceit, and intentional doing the wrong thing, intentionally hiding.
Unethical practices.
Unethical practice. So even with the young ones and even with the older ones, if we make mistakes, we provide an atmosphere where people can go to you and say, "Pasensya na, I made a mistake. I didn't intend, but there's a mistake here, and how do we go about moving forward?" And so we learn from the mistake, then move forward. Then everything is okay. Because it was not intended.
Yes.
It was not intended. And the trust, the 150% trust remains. If I make a mistake or somebody makes a mistake, the person gets corrected personally.
And privately.
And privately, not in front of everybody. Not in front of everybody. But I will chat with you. I think, this could have been done better. We could have probably this. And then if I was responsible for some of the error, I will have to acknowledge, I should have been on guard. It's my bad. I call it's my bad. I should have been on guard. I should have been there with you. Let's go move forward and correct this. Then we move forward. And that's the way we keep on the trust, because we don't shame the person. Then we keep on understanding what the situation was at the time that the error might have been committed.
You know what you're sharing is really so very relational and very social. I mentioned this to you, Doc Cora, no? I mean, that's such a combination of science and society, science and the human being. So overall, in all simplicity, what is science for you? And ano ba ang kailangan ng Pilipinas when it comes to science? What does the Philippines need when it comes to science?
Okay, this is from our Philippine Science School. Well, what science offers is that it is a methodical method of being able to define a problem and find creative solutions. Not just solutions, but creative solutions in order to solve the problem. So if, for example, and this is what I tell my team, if the solution, you need to cross the door and you cannot open the door, you can actually go under, you can go on the side, you can go over, as long as you cross the door to find the solution. So be creative, not bad, just creative to be able to find solutions. And explore, because that's what science is about. We're creative, we do problem solving. You think from the top of your head, you talk to people, you communicate, you learn from each other, and then find this, and you never give up. You need to keep on exploring, trying to find solutions, because everything is a journey, which means that you can have a solution now, but tomorrow it will be a different solution. So that's what science can offer. But what I teach the science people, our research associates, my team, is that science also has to have a social responsibility. We don't just study for the sake of studying. We need to define problems problems that society is asking us to solve. So you cannot be blind when you're traveling in EDSA. You see people begging, kids begging in the streets. You need to think, how can I help? Given the work that I do, how can I help? Why are those kids in the streets? How can I help in my profession? You go to a clinic and you see kids being examined for being abused. What am I going to do with my profession in order to help them? We also, part of our research, we go to, some of our research is with indigenous communities, our tribal brothers and sisters. We have an ongoing research with our brothers and sisters who are Mangyan in Mindoro. We've been to Sambasuto, Sambuanga Basilan, Sulu, Tawi-Tawi with our brothers and sisters who are Sama Bajau, Sama Bangingi, Tausug, Liakan, etc. And what are we doing there? We're understanding, we're studying their DNA, actually DNA of all different peoples, not just the tribal, including Tagalog, Visayas, etc., all over the Philippines. And what we're trying to understand is how our genetics are similar to each other and how we are different. For applications in health, in forensics, because we need it for our studies, and also for our population history. If you look at our DNA contains more stories than many of the books that we read so far. So if we're related to each other, bakit mas related? Mangyan, Alangan, for example, Mangyan is a collective term, but there are actually 8 different groups of Mangyan in Mindoro. Do we know who they are? The Alangan, Bangon, Taubuid, Tagjawan, History check. So all of those, and they are distinct groups, distinct culture, ancestral domain, practices, oral tradition, history, bloodline. So how can we, and that's a question I ask my team, how can we help the whole Philippines to understand our population history so that we can foster respect for other cultures and unity in diversity? Because we are so many, but if we do not understand, we do not recognize others, how can we respect them? So our contribution, our answer there is, our contribution is to help people understand and hear about the different communities in the Philippines. That's our contribution. Whatever other things people will do, that's fine, but this is our contribution. So
through
the social
forensic science.
Through forensics, through population genetics, through molecular biology and genetic studies.
Alright. Pag-aaralan ko pa yan.
Sige,
I-google ko pa lahat yan. Doc, final
Sure.
question,
Sure.
and I'm sure a lot of our audience and members would love to hear this from you. Life principles, life tips, coming from a woman warrior who wins in the workplace. Ready na po ba kayo sa life tips ni Doc De Ungria? Go ahead.
Life tips is really love for humanity. We need to put people before work, before anything else, before money, before anything else, has to be people focused, people centered. So love for humanity. We need to understand our families, the people that we work with. And then in that humanity, we need to also understand that although we are different, there are differences in culture, in languages, we all want the same thing. We want to be happy. And in understanding that unity in our humanity, we are able to bridge differences in order to communicate in the universal language of the human heart. Because we may speak Bisaya, we may speak Tagalog, pero ultimately, when you start speaking to someone, if you touch the heart, no language will separate us.
Oh, very supportive of DEI, diversity, equity, inclusivity, but I love the sense of humanity. Doc Cora, it's really my honor, my joy, and gratitude to know you professionally and now personally. Thank you for your passion, your dedication, and for the life-changing work that you've done in sciences. To our PMAP friends, members, colleagues, and partners, this is the story of our woman warrior who wins in the workplace, Dr. Maria Corazon De Ungria. Maraming salamat po.
Welcome. Thank you very much. Cheers.
I hope that you enjoyed our interview with Dr. Cora De Ungria. Thank you to the people behind the scenes from the PMAP and the People Ignite team for making this happen. I'm JV Wong from People Ignite, and this is People Watch. Perspectives Matter. See you again, everyone, and God bless you. Bye.